Hey guys, welcome to day 28. I made it to New Jersey. Everything went pretty smoothly today with my travels, except for, when I actually got to Toronto, I have this like regular place that I usually park. It's called Viscount. So for my local peeps, if you're used to parking at the Viscount parking lot, that's where I always have parked for the years that I've been traveling. And they've changed it. So now you can only park there if you have a reservation. So minor, like short little panic while I was like, oh no, where am I going to park? But I sorted it and used the Value Park lot. And yeah, my flight was only 15 minutes late, and I've just been hustling and bustling from the airport to my hotel to like trying to get groceries. And let me tell you, Walmart here in New Jersey really sucks. Like, it's so bad. Their super center is not super at all. So I went to go get some food after like not having eaten since I left my house, and they don't even have fruits and vegetables. Like, they only have like prepackaged stuff. And yeah, so I got like some cream and some hummus and yogurt and stuff like that. But yeah, very interesting. It's not as super as you would think, but I'm loving it here. I'm already noticing the shift in the atmosphere. It's feeling a little bit better than being in Canada. And so, sometimes it's good, especially if you're a feeler, discerner. It's good to like cross borders and to go into different territories, because I'm feeling the lift off of like the Canadian weight. And what it actually feels like to me is it feels like I can actually breathe more deeply here. It's like, it's a weird thing if you're not a feeler discerner, but it's just the atmosphere feels super, super different. So glad to be here. And yes, Clay, it's a not so super center. I'm like, I don't know, like I know America is not like super number one for like health or anything like that. I know Canada's not doing much better, but I was like so sad going into Walmart and seeing how garbage their grocery section was. But I'm not going to starve. I got some things. I got some nuts. I got some protein things. I bought frozen berries. They don't have any fruits and vegetables. So I'm like, I'm going to buy a bag of frozen fruit and yogurt. But thankfully my hotel does breakfast in the morning. So yeah, that's just my little update. So I'm here for a GPA conference, and I'm not going to be too long because I need to be out of here by about 6 o'clock, maybe about 25 minutes. But yeah, it's exciting. So I have some friends from Emerging Prophets who are coming. I have friends from there's other Canadian prophets from Calgary way that are going to be here, and then some others from my prophet nest that I meet with on Tuesday evenings. That's led by Christine Schieber. So I'm super, super excited. And, it's just really nice to be here and to be with, different people and to be able to connect. And just, we're actually going to be doing, part of the weekend is actually a Freedom from Freemasonry session, which is pretty intense. And I've already done some, like I did Restoring the Foundations, and it turns out I did have Freemasonry. I think it was my great grandfather who was a Freemason. And, so got some like inner healing, broke some stuff off like that. That stuff's real. And, sometimes we really need to go for the deep levels of healing and dealing with spiritual roots and bloodline things, because there are things that can hinder us from moving forward and step into the fullness of what God has for us. Things that are just like not even our fault, and things that are passed down our generational line and have nothing to do with any choices you've made or decisions, and it does seem sometimes it seems a little bit unfair, but, the Bible talks about the sins of the fathers being passed on to the children to the third and fourth generation. And then as far as sexual immorality and those kind of sins and strongholds goes, the Old Testament actually talks about those kind of sins being passed down even to 10 generations. So this is where we need to go deep. We need to like get healing. And, my intention wasn't necessarily, actually, I didn't have an intention in coming. I only came because Holy Spirit gave me a very clear sign that I needed to come to New Jersey. And that is why I'm here. So, but I'm just excited. I want to say hello. We've got Jill from the UK. Clay, I can never remember where you are. I used to know where you are. I feel like you've moved so many times. Hello, Julie Sondergaard and Josie Lavoy and Peta Grace, which is Eunice. Good to see you as well. You know what, Eunice, I actually want to prophesy over to you. You are the one who's highlighted after I drink some of my not so good hotel coffee. Made sure I went to the desk and got extra packs of coffee. You know, they just give you those 2 little pods that are always like 2 weeks. So I went and bought my cream and I brought my stevia. So as long as I can have coffee as soon as I wake up, I'm good. Yeah, you don't wanna see me before coffee. Eunice or Peta. Yeah. Yeah, Eunice, I see that the Lord is giving you the keys to a new vehicle in this season, and I just see you know, I just hear him saying, like, what you have been driving and where you've been going, like, there has been a comfortability with it, and I see that you kind of got the old comfortable, like, worn in, you know, vehicles often speak of like ministries, and I just see like you've been in this place of familiarity and comfort where you've really like, there's been a lot of consistency and things have been very steady for a really long time. And I just hear the Lord saying, hey, this is the time for the upgrade. This is the time I'm giving you the keys for the new car. And this car is going to go faster and it's a luxury vehicle. And I just see that that's like pointing. He says, this is such a season of upgrade. And there's a speed with which he is going to bring you forward and take you the distance. You know, there's going to be some, there's always the you know, the growing pains as we're trying to work ourselves into something new, but I just see this this real hunger on the inside of you, and it's like this holy dissatisfaction that's been growing, and it's like it's not a bad thing, it's like a good thing, and it's been growing in you, and it has set you up in this place where you're just like, I have to have more, I have to have the next, I have to have my breakthrough. And I just see the Lord is saying, like, this is the season for shift and for direction. And so the shift of the vehicle is also signifying that he is changing some things very drastically in the way that you're doing life and in the way that you're going about things. And so it's just like, it's like this sharp left turn where he is just like, hey, you've been going this way, you've been going this way, this way, this way, this way. But I just see he's turning things really in a very different direction. And, but it's exciting and it's beautiful. And I see that in this season, as you take this turn and you start to step into some of these new things that he's put on your heart, is actually really gonna like, whet your appetite for risk taking. And I see, it's like I see this courage rising in you and you starting to step in and to do some things afraid. Like you stepping into this place, and I see you like overcoming that sense of, you know, sometimes we get that like little bit of imposter syndrome, or like who I am, just kind of like Gideon did, you know, where the angel came and said, hello, mighty man of valor. And I see you, Eunice, being in this place where it's like, who am I and how could this possibly work? But I see you stepping in courageously and doing things afraid in this season. And as you're stepping in, the fear that you're actually you're getting free from fear and some things that have, you know, have held you in a place of smallness in the past. And it's this courageous risk taking and stepping out. And I just hear the Lord saying that you're going to be really surprised as you start to open up more and more and release your voice in the message, your real kingdom message. I see you discovering your kingdom message in this season, in this message that is like your message for how you want to serve the world. And as that releases, you're going to be very surprised at the people who are attracted to you and who start to come in and connect with you. So I just bless you with courage and boldness to step out and do the things, even in spite of fear that would try to, like, you know, get you to shrink back, but just that you're stepping out and taking courageous risk-taking steps in this season. Yeah. And your daddy's so proud of you. He's so proud of you. Yeah. Hello, Jana Jacobs, Denise Rios, Janice Maines, Jenny Kretschmar, Charity, Sierra Gibson. Hello, hello. Good to see you guys, all of you. Awesome. Yeah, Denise, take some of that courage, some of that boldness. This is the season for courageous risk taking. It really is. Yeah. Okay, Clay Whitehead. Clay. I can see you've already started to lay the bricks down where things have already started come into place for you, and I just see that you're already kind of like well into this like organizing and building process. And I just see this like you're taking advantage of this season that we're in right now, and this time, this window of time that I keep talking about, where it's about like, you know, between January to end of June, this first half of the year. I see you, Clay, really being intentional in this period of time, and really you know, using the grace that is on this season in this window of time to do the accelerated building. And I see things coming together and coming up much more quickly than you would have expected. You know, things that would have, you know, taking you like years and even decades. I see you being able to do them in a matter of months. And I actually am just hearing the Lord say that many hands are going to make work light. And so I feel like he's saying that there's others who are going to come in this season. Some I can see strategic connections, as like I can see one on your right and one on your left who are going to come in and are going to help you to start moving and pushing some things forward in this season, because you have had that like tenacity, like that tenacity and that willingness. I've never prophesied about Deborah over a man, but I feel like there's a little thing about Deborah that is highlighted to me, and it's not the woman part, but it's where she was willing to step up in the place where no one else would. There's something of like, I see where it's like you've said, like, I'm going to step in and I'm going to do what is required, and I will go, even though I feel like there's someone else who should have gone and someone else who should have taken the lead and kind of like spearheaded some things. But you had this, like, I am not going to let things be slowed down. I'm not going to let this window of opportunity be missed in the grace that is on this season. And so you've stepped up, and I see like where you've stepped up, that there's things that are going to get done because you have caught the vision. And it's almost like you weren't even necessarily the person who was asked first or was supposed to lead, but you were the one who was willing, and you are the one who has the confidence, but it's like the God confidence and just that ability. And so it's kind of like, I almost see like others being moved out of the way so that you can come forward in this season. And God just is really trusting you. I just see you've really got that plumb line, which is Christ. And you're just someone, you're laying things, as you're building, you're laying things. It's like, you're like, we got the plumb line. It's like laid, and you are just like lining it up. You are just lining it up with such diligence. It's like, I can see you just like almost like with like a level and a protractor, and just like making sure that everything is absolute perfect. And the Lord really loves your attention to detail and the way that you are just so, you're just so careful. You're just so careful. And it is reminding me of like, in the Old Testament, when they were given like the instructions for how to build the temple and things like that. There's something that you're building. There's something you're building for the Lord. And it's, I feel like others have tried, but they've been so haphazard about it, and haven't really had the discipline and the intentionality. And the Lord says it needs to be done a specific way. And so he's entrusted you with those kingdom blueprints. And I just see like, you know, I just bless you, Clay, and your diligence in laying things out and building things the way that the Lord is instructing you. You know, and I can see even as Nehemiah had to build in a season where there was opposition. And so he had to like, you know, they would build with one hand, you know, the trowel in one hand and the sword in the other. I see you in this place of, you know, where you've been kind of like having to build and having to like war. But I actually feel like these two that are coming on your right and left are actually really going to have your back. And so you're going to be able to really be able to like focus. And it's kind of like, it's a season where God is putting you more into an offensive position and territory taking and advancing. And there's these ones here who are going to worry about the defense and the protection, and these ones who are just like really have your back in this season. So yeah, I just see increased covering, and it's like, it's love that covers, you know, that's true spiritual covering, and these ones that are going to come behind you, ones that you can trust and will follow, your lead. Well, Clay, you're saying you are exactly right. I love this. You know, the prophetic's so fun because you see these comments, you know, Clay's like, come on, yes, you are exactly right. And I mean, Clay comes on my prophecy hour, but I don't know anything about him except I prophesy over him, you know, fairly often. But I don't know anything personally. And so this is the prophetic. It's so fun, guys. And, you know, I like to demystify the prophetic because I am a prophetic trainer and I'm all about getting people activated in the prophetic. I don't want to come on here and be like, oh, I am the one who prophesies. I want everybody to know that we can all prophesy. And so as I'm like prophesying and releasing words over, you know, I just prophesied over Eunice and then just over Clay there, like, let me let you in on a little secret of mine. It doesn't feel very impressive. It doesn't feel very wow. I don't feel particularly anointed. I mean, I know I'm anointed. I know I have a gift from God, but you know, it's just this place of relationship with the Lord where I just know that he shows up every time. He's so good. He's given me a gift. Even though I got nothing, I can come on here, I can hit the go live button, and I know that my daddy's going to show up and that, you know, Holy Spirit will bubble up, you know. And so it's just, I want to, you know, encourage everybody that like we can step into the prophetic. It looks different for other people, and not everybody has prophecy as their like primary gift like I do. For me, I'd say prophecy and also discernment or discerning of spirits. But yeah, but we can all prophesy. And see a couple of my students on here, Todd Lemieux and Kim Miller, Brannian just signed in. They're currently in my mentorship group and love having them in there and seeing them step out and learn and grow. And yeah, if anyone else is, you know, if you're interested, if you want to grow in the prophetic, if you're not part of a prophetic community or not part of a prophetic church where you're getting training, you know, some churches give like very basic, this is how you hear God foundations. And I do cover that stuff. But, you know, I have been training in the prophetic for the last 3.5, almost 4 years. And, you know, it's a little bit more than just basic prophecy 101. Because God's, you know, he's got me going deeper and deeper in this journey. And so all the things that I'm learning, whether it's through my emerging prophets training or running the emerging prophets school, or even but from being at like conferences like I am here with this GPA conference this weekend, all of these things that God deposits inside of me, I love to pass on to people. And, you know, we can release through impartation. And I just love, you know, God has given me a heart of a trainer and equipper. I didn't used to like teaching. I remember one time I got a prophetic word from Keith Ferrante. He's the founder of Emerging Prophets. I met him about 8 years ago up in Canada. And he prophesied about my teaching gift. And he said to me, he's like, you know, what was the word? It was like your gift wasn't meant to be a torment to you, but it was meant to be a blessing. Because at that time I was not wanting to teach and I lacked a lot of confidence. But, you know, God, you know, sometimes we get these prophetic words and sometimes they seem so far out there, or sometimes we don't even want them. And it's like, I was like, don't tell me I'm a teacher. Tell me I'm going to be an amazing prophet. Like, I don't want anybody to be like, oh, you have a teaching gift. I was like, no, I don't want to teach. You know, I want to prophesy. I don't want to teach. But now it's like really someone who is called to the office of prophet is not just someone who prophesies. The fivefold offices, the apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher, to be in a fivefold governmental position, and this isn't a status thing, it's just where has God called you? What assignment has he giving you to do? But those fivefold offices, they are equippers of the body of Christ, raising them up to, it's about duplication. So, if anybody puts themselves on a pedestal and makes them seem like untouchable, like, oh, you could never achieve this level, you should just think twice, because really the real heart is to duplicate and to help others come up, learn the skills, the tools, and to be able to advance. And hello, Andy Bear. Good to see you. I won't see you at church on Sunday because I am in New Jersey. I won't show you this side of my room because it's messy. I laid all my stuff out, but I got a pretty nice place here. I got a pretty sweet room. But I'm going to sign off because it is my goal to be out of this hotel room in the next 7 minutes. And I'm going to go to the first session, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in.